Hey everybody, I'm Largo, and we're back in the lair to look at some adventure team type Joes and where we are with the AT-76. So as you can see from the intro, trying to find a female that would work with this 12-inch line is a challenge. There's kind of slim pickings. There wasn't much. There was one in the 60s that came and went, and then in the 1990s there was a reintroduction of a female character into the G.I. Joe line with the G.I. Jane, and it's a decent body. It's very similar to the construction of the 90s and 2000s modern G.I. Joe 12-inch. Looking at the options available and the head sculpts that they did, I chose the Vietnam nurse. As you can see, she's got a really nice head sculpt, and she has, you know, that 70s style head sculpt, hairstyle and all that, which kind of fits with the vibe of AT-76, because I'm kind of going for a late 70s, early 80s sci-fi kind of thing. So as far as that goes, she'll definitely fit. I think it's fitting to have the Vietnam nurse as part of the team. Just a few things off about it. The G.I. Jane body that Hasbro built is, you know, it has decent articulation. You've got, you know, articulated elbows, knees, everything just like a regular Joe, but the height is a little odd. They made her pretty much the same height, in some cases slightly taller than most of the Joes, which the proportions just make it look a little goofy when you stand them side by side. The other problem I'm running into is all of these modern head sculpts that they do, while they look nice, are too small for the body. As you can see from the classic Air Adventurer I have here, you know, even though he's on a modern buck and this is a interpretation of the adventure team fuzzy head, the scale of the heads just looks goofy when you put them side by side. She looks really small-headed for the body she's on. Apparently this is a common problem with a lot of the Joes from this era, late 90s, early 2000s. So the proportions are just off. So I don't know how I'm going to work that for toy photography and whatnot, but by herself as a figure, especially as a representative of the nurses who worked in Vietnam, it's a good figure. For what I'm trying to do with AT-76, just doesn't seem like the best fit. Close, but not quite. So the one adventurer that they actually made as an official part of the adventure team, I looked at that one. It's the same head sculpt as the G.I. Jane helicopter pilot or airborne trooper, and it's not great. It's not flattering, and it's the same body as this, so the proportions are just not quite right. So I decided to take a different approach. Looked at some other manufacturers and what kind of female figures in the 12-inch scale were out there and who would fit with the spirit of the adventure team. And what I found was kind of surprising. So we'll take a look in just a moment. So, anyone who's read comics is probably familiar with Danger Girl, one of my favorite comics from back in the day. Good storyline and some really interesting characters based on some favorite memes and cliches of the day. I chose Abby Chase to join the adventure team. Why? Well, She is an adventurer in the Danger Girl comics. A little bit of a cross between Lara Croft Tomb Raider type and a James Bond type spy. She's definitely got the same spirit and vibe as what I like with the adventure team, and thought it'd be a pretty good fit. Dragon Models put this 12-inch figure out a few years back, early 2000s, and she is on what they call a Neo body. So she should have really good articulation. The thing that really sold me on it is the head sculpt. She's got a nice opening to her case here so we can see her, and as you can see, the head sculpt is really nicely done, and I think it's going to fit better than our Vietnam nurse with going with the rest of the Joes. So we'll get her out of the box, we'll take a look at her and compare her with the Hasbro offering for a female adventurer and see what we think. So here's Abby out of the box, and as you can see, she's got a really cool look to her. Really like this head sculpt, and compared with our adventure team, I think it's just a better fit. Definitely looks good, proportions are better than the Hasbro G.I. Jane figure. Again, it's not a terrible figure, but it's just not quite right. I mean, that head sculpt, when you put it next to any other female figure, you see there's obviously something not quite right. And it's the fact that they made the head sculpt too small. They just did. For whatever reason, they didn't make it proportionate to the body. So it's goofy. But we'll still try to find a place for the nurse in the team somewhere. Excuse me. As far as Abby goes, very much reminiscent of how she looked in the Danger Girl comic book. You see that they gave her original outfit, which she was known for, kind of a black and green adventurer suit. Some really cool accessories that she comes with. Put the nurse over here for a minute. I haven't pulled everything out of the case yet, but she comes with a Desert Eagle, or Deagle. And she does have a trigger finger. Unfortunately, she doesn't have multiple hands or the type of, options that some other modern 1/6 scale figures do. But what she does come with is definitely made to fit with this figure and definitely fits with the character. So she can hold a weapon really nicely. She does have some pretty decent articulation. This new dragon body has kind of an interesting ratcheting effect to the shoulder, which helps her to hold a pose in place. Great movement in the legs, the torso. Just looks good and is very much more proportionate of a figure. And so I think we're going to get some great styling and looks with her. The main thing is, does she fit with the spirit and vibe of the adventure team that I'm trying to put together? And I think the answer is, oh yeah. Definitely looks like she fits as part of the team. So I like her next to my air adventurer. I can definitely see her going on adventures with Mike Power. The two just look good together, and I think she is a great addition. The only caveat I have with this figure is pleather. Pleather is evil. They gave her a pleather coating on her black uniform, and unfortunately, because this is a figure from the early 2000s, and I bought one that was still in the box, it hasn't had a lot of usage. It's just the coating they use is this weird pleathery plastic stuff, and it is flaking off of the uniform terribly. Anybody who has fake leather accessories for figures, know that after a couple of years, it just degrades. It's just a thing. So I'm gonna have to get her a new uniform or try to remove the pleather. It seems to be flaking off on its own pretty well, but I'm gonna try washing the uniform and maybe brushing it off, because even as I'm holding the figure, it's just falling all over my, it's all over my fingers and all over my table. Yeah, I've just got these little black flakes everywhere. So I do not like fake leather on figures because it just doesn't hold up over time. And that's a shame, because it's a really nicely done uniform. Like I said, it looks just like she did in the comic books. It fits the figure very well. We'll find something. There's a lot of accessories out there for this scale, for 1/6 scale female figures. So we'll just have to go do a little shopping. Might have to get her some different hands too. She only comes with this set of hands, which are color coordinated with this outfit in the same green and black. But with these dragon model figures, I think I can find some hands that are going to be compatible with what she's working with there. And we'll find a way to make it work. But it is what it is. I like the character, I like the figure, I like the idea of Abby Chase leaving the Danger Girl company and becoming an adventure team member. Or maybe she works freelance, maybe she does both. We'll figure that out as we go. As far as accessories, I'm not going to tear everything out of the package right now because of this pleather situation and things getting all over the place. She does come with a really nice holster for her sidearm. It comes with a couple of clips to go with it. She has a little communicator, some C4, a combat knife, a pen light, and of course a nice pair of shades. That helps too. So all the accessories are really well done and scaled for the figure, and we'll do some toy photography with her once I figure out the costume situation. So for right now, every time I touch her, the pleather falls off on my hands. We might even try a costume swap, and for now, since I don't have a lot of 1/6 scale accessories, I might try taking the Vietnam uniform and put that on her and see if that fits on this body, just so I can get her out in the field, and then we'll find something different for our Vietnam nurse, or, you know, we'll figure it out. But anyway, I wanted to show you guys what I was working on. I like the idea of expanding the adventure team, adding some new characters that fit with the spirit of it, and I think Abby Chase is a good fit. So that's where we are. We'll look at some other bits and pieces I've picked up, and once we get everything assembled, I'll go through the whole team and my thoughts on how they all fit together. But for now, Mike Power, my adventure team air adventurer that I haven't given a name yet, and Abby Chase are kind of my core members, along with my custom bullet man who's still in need of a better head sculpt. So that, the Vietnam nurse, and the one man of action that I have are kind of the team I have at the moment. And we're putting it all together and then figuring out what kind of toy photography we're going to do, you know, the storytelling, but that's where it is. So next we'll check out some accessories we've picked up over our search. So stay tuned for that. So Lightyear has turned out, even though it was a box office dud, to be the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to toy collectors and customizers. A couple of pieces I picked up here, just wanted to show off to give you an idea of some ideas what you can use. Now, anybody that watches my channel knows I'm a big Action Force fan, and so I have my James Reese from the Terminal List kit bash here, standing next to a Cyclops, which was one of the baddies from the movie. Pretty cool design for a giant robot. It's even got a missile action that works pretty well. And it's got some decent articulation. Sorry, Joe, didn't mean to bump you there. So, comes with a missile there. He's got a little data port thing that blows off of his chest if you press his center button. I didn't buy it for gimmicks. I bought it because it's a good-sized robot for 1/12 figures. So compared with Action Force or any other 1/12 scale line, you can paint these up to be, you know, security droids. You could make this into some sort of a armored suit. Sky's the limit. I've seen some other customizers repaint these, change out the heads, put different weapon mounts on the arm pieces. There's a lot of things you can do. Check out Instagram, look up Lightyear, look up Cyclops, and see what's out there. So these are on clearance, as is most everything from this movie that Mattel produced, because the movie underperformed. And they really thought they were going to have another Pixar gold mine on their hands for merchandising, and did not come to pass. The Mattel stuff is really well done for what it is. It's just the IP it's attached to didn't really catch on. Lucky for us, that means good toys on clearance now. So, Amazon, Walmart, Target, you know, all the usual haunts. These guys are on sale right now, and definitely worth picking up. I really like this smaller scale Cyclops figure. It's neat. I'll probably repaint it, do some detailing, and maybe make him part of the swarm, because even though it's not swarm yellow, it's pretty darn close, and you know, a good paint job, we can make that work. Or we could do him up as a Steel Brigade augment. Anything's possible. So just wanted to show you, for the 1/12 fans in the house, that there are options. There's some other things in the line. That's just the one that I picked up that I liked. But right now I'm working on my AT-76 1/6 scale adventure team. So if you're looking for a good adversary for your Mike Power Atomic Man, I would suggest the Cyclops in 1/12 scale, or 1/6 scale, 12-inch. So math is hard. But as you can see, up against the Adventure Team style Joes, really good scale. He's got some limited articulation, but again, he's a giant robot. He's not supposed to be super articulated. Head will move. Arms have some basic articulation to them, as do the legs and hips. Really cool look to him. I think he'll make a great adversary, maybe some sort of enforcer thug for whatever baddies the Joes are chasing. I could definitely see having some fun toy photography with these guys together. So Mike's gonna have fun beating up on some robots, and again, on clearance at most of your favorite big box stores and also Amazon. So check it out. Definitely worth picking up. We'll leave him up here. I'm gonna stick Mike over here off camera, and then we'll talk about this set. This is the Space Ranger gear set. I like this one because it's not his typical Space Ranger Toy Story look. This is from a different part in this new film, where he's just, you know, typical astronaut kind of look. The reason I picked up this particular 1/6 scale figure is because the armor is removable. A lot of the other Mattel figures in this scale, it's all molded one piece. You can't take the accessories off. This one you can, as you can see from the box. So I'm going to pull off the spacesuit parts that we're going to use for our Joes, and our air adventurer has volunteered to model the spacesuit bits for us, and we'll see how that looks on the super articulated body. Just a second. So here is Buzz with his spacesuit parts removed. As you can see, it's not a bad figure. Mattel did a really good job on this. It's got some basic articulation in the places where you would expect. No soft goods. He has a plastic molded suit and that great big derpy Pixar face, which is kind of cute, but doesn't really fit with AT-76. I guess if I wanted to, I could use him as a background character because they do scale well together, but I probably won't. I didn't buy this for the figure. Obviously, I bought it for the accessories. So, sorry Buzz, you don't make the cut. But the bits and pieces that come with him do. So let's take a look at those. Oh, I should mention, this was about $35 on retail initially, but since it has gone to clearance, I picked this up on Amazon for about $8 and some change. So you can't beat that with a stick, kids. This one is definitely worth picking up. Space Ranger gear, there are still some on Amazon, and Walmart, Target, your usual big box stores, maybe Big Lots. Look for this in clearance places, because it's worth picking up, and here's why. You have a really nice chest piece and helmet for any kind of space stuff you want to do. Helmet is detachable and really nicely styled. It's got some good detailing on it and will definitely fit on a Joe, as I'll show in a minute. Same with the chest piece. It is a two-piece snap-apart bit, so you got a back and a front plate, and those will fit around the chest of pretty much any type of Joe, except maybe the Hall of Fame big beefy ones. But for most of your standard Joes, and this particular one, which is a super articulated Joe, it's going to work great. I chose my Air Adventurer to be my model because at the moment he's the one I have that has a nice jumpsuit. So figure this would be a good way to test this out. We'll take off his belt and try out the utility belt that comes with the Lightyear set. It's got a snap in the back, so we can open that up and see if it's going to fit the waist. And if I can move the fabric of his jumpsuit out of the way, yeah, no problem. Fits good, looks good. Heck, you could just use that as a good utility belt for your Joes for any occasion. It's got a nice look to it. It's got some pouches built in, snaps in the back, so it's going to fit the waist of most of your Joes. Looks good on the jumpsuit. I really like that. Might just repaint the buckle and stuff and use that as his regular belt for whatever adventure he's on, because that has a good look to it. So already we're off to a good start. Has some space booties, not the greatest. They look pretty cool. Unfortunately, they're only the front half. The back is hollow. So they're not full boots. They just slide on. But from the front, they look pretty cool. You might be able to get away with using these for some toy photography if you don't show them from the back. They do fit pretty well over Joe boots and on Joe uniform. So there you go. He's got some decent boots on. That's not a bad look. Has a little communicator cuff. This also, let's see how he stands with those. Not bad. So he's got a little communicator cuff, snaps open, so you can get it around the wrist, and it will fit over the jumpsuit and snap in place. Kind of, sort of, yeah. The very soft plastic, kind of almost a vinyl. If you have some vinyl paint, I'll see if I can find a good paint I can recommend that will paint. You could, jazz that up. It's got some really good molded detail, so you could certainly add some color to it and make it look a little spiffier. But even as is, it's not bad. So you've got a cool little communicator on the wrist. You got a laser sword, which is something new to Lightyear that came out of this movie. Kind of neat, but it's oversized. It's definitely a little goofy in his hand because of the size of the handle, but it will fit in a gung-ho grip style Joe. So if you want it, you can use it, but I probably won't because it's a little too big, but it's an option. So the main reason I wanted to get this set, especially at clearance price, was the chest piece and space helmet. So moment of truth, let's see how this is going to fit on him. We've got the front plate. It's got 4 connection points. You just line them up and push it in. 1 and 2, and raise your arms, Joe. 3, try not to pinch your uniform, and see if we can get that to fit. Oh yeah, boom. Yep, there we go. So it will fit and has room to spare, but it's not too loose. Fits good over a Adventure Team jumpsuit pretty nicely. So combination of the chest plate, the utility belt, the space booties, the communicator bit, optional laser sword. You've got yourself a Joe that's ready to go on a space adventure. Last piece is the helmet. Now, if you got a fuzzy head Joe, you just want to be careful on putting this on that you don't damage the flock, but it will fit over the head and then snap into place. Yes, on the chest piece. So with the exception of needing some gloves and or hands that are molded to look like gloves, you've got a spaceman real quick and pretty spiffy. See what I did there? Spaceman spiff. I know there's some Calvin and Hobbes fans out there. So if you want to take your adventure team into space, this is an easy way to do it, pretty cheap. If you have some of the previous astronauts that have come out in the Joe lines, you could use this to augment those sets if you're not crazy about how their helmets and chest pieces look. This can definitely be painted up to have some better detail. You can certainly put some Adventure Team logos on there, pretty easy. But for what it is, I think it's pretty cool. So I'll look for some gloves or some alternate hands to use to complete the look, and you got yourself a spacefaring Joe pretty darn easy. And having him go up against a Cyclops or a space alien or what have you, not a problem. Laser sword optional. Should put an asterisk. So that's what I got for you today. As more stuff comes in, we will continue to add bits and pieces to the adventure team. AT-76. So stay tuned. Thanks for checking it out. We'll talk to you in the near future. So here's a quick update on our Danger Girl. I was able to successfully salvage her outfit. Took some liquid laundry detergent and a soft bristle toothbrush and brushed off all that nasty pleather stuff. So I was able to save both the jacket and the pants. Took a little bit of effort, but definitely worth it. And as you can see, very nice detail on the outfit. She's got her utility belt on with a flashlight and a holster. She's got her communicator and another little holster piece there. And she has her Danger Girl belt buckle and her holster for her Desert Eagle. The accessories are a little oversized, so they're kind of a really tight fit, but not bad. The figure does have really great articulation. She can really bend in all the ways you want for some great toy photography. She's got really decent hand articulation as well. And that sculpt really looks good. That kind of slight smirk to her. She looks like she's ready to hang out with the adventure team and give them a little sass. So I think she pairs really well with Mike Power. I can see these guys going on an adventure together. Pretty cool. And we've got our Joe from the Secret of the Hidden Tomb, or the Mummy's Tomb set, you know, our pith helmet guy. And she works well with him as well. I like the lineup. Somebody in the comments said he kind of looks a little like, whoops, Doc Savage. And you know, I look at that haircut and that look, and he does have kind of a bronze finish to him. He could definitely be like a Doc Savage, or maybe Doc Savage Jr., part of the team. So we might play with that, see where that goes down the road. But as far as Danger Girl being a member of the adventure team, I think, yeah, now that we've got her outfit fixed, got the pleather off, she's got some really nice boots. She's got really good articulation in the knees. She can bend all the way up. She also comes with a little bit of a stand. It's very basic, but it was free. Came with the set, so we'll make some use of it. But I need something more, you know, dynamic for doing other poses other than just a vanilla static look. We'll see what we can figure out. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I think she's a good fit in the team. And we'll get her to stand up here, and we'll take a look at her accessories real quick. Definitely takes a little bit of manipulation to get her where you want her to balance. But that seems to be true with all of these 1/6 scale figures, hence the need for a decent stand. So the stand is helpful. Like we said, she comes with a Desert Eagle. It's got some pretty good detailing on it. I really like the way that they shaped this. It also has a removable clip, 2 of them actually. Comes with some really cool detail in that. Even got a little bullet that it shows. It is a little bit of a tight fit. If I push it any more than that, it's going to get stuck. But I might have to shave that out on the inside a little bit so that we can get a good solid fit for the clip. But it's nice that they put that little bit of attention to detail to it. Now, like I said, it is definitely a little tight getting this into the holster. It'll work. Come on. Watch it make a liar out of me. Oh, there we go. But getting the snap to fit over the handle, good luck. It's really tight. So I might try to find a smaller sidearm that'll fit that holster better. But as it is, it's not bad. The leg strap that comes with this, unfortunately, for whatever reason, they made it too short. So it does have a leg strap, but when you try putting it around the leg, it doesn't actually fit real well. She comes with a decent pair of shades, which, I mean, they're cool, and you can lift her hair up a little bit to try to get them on. But you're not going to get them because of the shape of the hair and the shape of the glasses. You can get them kind of sort of on there, but not really. It's not going to fit well on this side, which is a bummer because they look kind of cool. So her shades will probably go to another character, and who wants to cover up those pretty eyes anyway? So we've got that, and I'm definitely gonna have to find a different stand because she does not like to stay on this one. But it's what I got for the moment. She comes with a nice bag. It is another fake leather, but this one's a lot better than what they put on her uniform, and it doesn't show any of the signs of flaking that the other one did. It's got two smaller pockets where you would think you could put the clips, but they actually sewed those shut with the Velcro, which, you know, whatever. You can open the bag and put some stuff on the inside, so that works pretty cool. So she has that for her going adventuring, and it looks pretty nice with her. Some other doodads, like I said, she's got the clips that go to the Desert Eagle. Unfortunately, where the clips should go on the bag, they won't actually go in there because of the way that was sewn. She's got a little bit of C4, as it says, C4, and apparently a detonator combat knife, no sheath, but a nice looking knife. It is what it is. And some little MacGuffin pieces that I seem to remember were in one of the comic books as something that she was after. So that and this little Omni device thingy, no idea. But, you know, just cool bits. So, yeah, that works. So we were able to put her together with her original outfit, which makes me very happy. She's definitely going to fit with Mike Power and our other adventurers, including our air adventurer, who's still wearing his space outfit at the moment. And who else we got here? And we've got our Bullet Man we're still working on. Where is he? Yeah, see, they match up pretty well. Still need a good head sculpt for him, but went ahead and put a Bullet Man patch on him, and I put the Lightyear utility belt on here to try it out. I think that might work. I have his jetpack off at the moment. Let's put that back on. I still need to find a permanent attachment for that. Right now I'm just using a little bit of tape to kind of hold it in place and mock it up. I like the look of that. I think that's going to work well. So he might end up getting that utility belt. I'm just going to paint the buckle, maybe using that chrome paint that we're going to look at using on his arms as well. So it's starting to come together. But yeah, that's what we've got at the moment. So AT-76 is starting to shape up. We've got a few new characters, including our first femme fatale for the team, and more to come. So just thought I'd share that, and we'll take a look at some of the other bits and pieces that we've picked up in further episodes. And you just never know who's going to pop up. So we'll see you in the near future. Have a good one.